Okay, guys, so this is another video for Wusik Station 10, and this is about coding. So it's going to be a bit boring and a bit of me rambling about the stuff that is still missing. And I'm just going to show what I have done so far, which was a bit of a big deal. And it's already working with OpenGL, and you load the plugin, and it loads an interface in a new window. And it loads in full screen or in a windowed mode. So you can resize to any size you want. So let me check. It's not showing. It's not showing on the stream. Okay, now it's showing. It wasn't showing before, but it was showing on my screen. Just wasn't being recorded. So okay, I can select to be full screen or not. Oh, it goes again. As soon as I open the menu, yeah, it's doing something, but it's not a big deal. What I'm going to be working. Ah, come on, scrapping my whole interface. So just to remind why it's been so hard to code this new interface, because this is 4K full screen, and right now my monitor is 10 1080p, so it is a big deal. Oh, every time I close the menu, the OBS, my streaming software, is not capturing anymore, but it's working on my monitor. Just, but the menus and other things are working correctly. So I'm going to just close the application to see if I can get back the. So okay, I have the OpenGL using the graphics card memory to load some stuff and also deal with other stuff. I have my mouse events, my key events, everything done from Windows directly, so I'm not using the Juice framework for this. And the OpenGL is being done by the Pixel Game Engine, which is a game engine created by onelonecoder.com, the Javid. I don't know how to spell his name. And he's a great guy. He created this for creating games. This is what I use for creating the Razor, my first game, and so far only one because I can't work on another game until I finish Physics Station. And it's great. It works great for what I needed. And I just removed a few things and added other things to make it work better. But the idea is that it works with the OpenGL to reduce the 4K resolution to any resolution you want. And I'm pretty sure it's also going to be able to upscale to 8K if needed. And from 4K to 8K, it's not going to be a big difference in terms of quality, so it should be okay. But we all know that from 1080p to 4K, it can be a mess, especially if the plugin is small and you stretch the whole window or make it full screen, then it's a big mess. So right now, what I have is a bunch of new code and it's a lot of stuff that I created. You can see I have all these new files just for Visual Station 10. And this is the engine, the pixel engine. What's the logo doing here? Ah, okay, the logo is for the window icon. So it's okay. It loads the plugin, loads the interface, and you can see that it's another window. Too bad my capture program is not capturing the OpenGL screen. But as soon as I try to move the mouse on top of the menu, it craps out. I don't know why. I try to figure this one out because I need to do more captures of the OpenGL window. I have set it to window capture, maybe. No, it's display capture. can select the display number one. So I don't know why it's not working. So anyway, now the next step is the scrolling of the layers. So right now here I'm scrolling my text, my code. You can say I can scroll up and down my code, and this is going to be for the layers too. So I could create a big picture, a very long picture that has all the layer information there, layers actually, because you have one layer, one, two, three, all after each other, and on the end the master layer. But that would be a bit messy in terms of memory and also in terms of mostly about memory. I think. So what I have open my files here, the skin files. So I have the cached files, which are the files already compiled for be used. You can see here if I set to view actual size, it's going to be very large because this is 4K. How do I get? Oh, okay, so it background layer. This one I don't remember which is. This is the knob panning in all the layers, the macros that goes on the top of the grid, the crate actually. The menus, the overlay for the whole thing. It goes last, and the overlay layer, which goes on the top of the layer. So what is missing here? Missing, I think. Let's see here. Okay, this doesn't have. Okay, it's missing a few things that I have to do. If you look here on the menu, let me open this on the Photo Plus, which is a Photoshop clone. Not clone, but it's good. But it's old. It doesn't even exist anymore in the internet. Some company acquired the Serif company, and it's now something else. The background layer, all black, so it's wrong. But here on the menus, I have it transparent. And then you have these pink lines, and the pink lines will determine where should I cut the image, where the text starts and ends on the menu, and the the difference of each picture here on the pink line also cuts the individual slices for the menu. So I have a menu start on the top, a menu separator, a regular menu, a menu that has been checked, which has some menu items can be checked, a sub menu highlighted, which just go on the top of the other ones, and then the bottom of the menu. So it's all in a single image using the pink lines to determine where to cut. I don't actually cut this into multiple images, but what I do, let me quickly show. I created a small widget called strip pinks, and this one is dedicated. Actually, not. It's not dedicated. It can be used for other things too, but it has this top pinks, right pinks, in case of this one, because this one has a top pinks and a right pink, and the other one is just the left pinks. So it just creates a point for each of the sections. So I pass a point reference to it, image positions, and it just checks for the places for each one and creates that. Doesn't change the image at all. And when I draw the menu, where's the menu now? Menu, keep press, render. So when I render the menu, this is the text part. Let's see where is the actual graphic part. So here's the graphic part. It goes and check here. First, it check what type it is. So depending of the type, I will have to get a different image position. And if it's the bottom one, I'm going to set the image position of the bottom. Yeah, that's correct. Pretty much correct. I think I just found a flaw in my logic in here. Always something nag me. This is not correct. Should be doing that. Okay, the first thing I do. Okay, I have to fix this. Well, I understand why it works because every time I create the menu, it recalculates the image positions. That's why it's not being a problem with anything else. So it's not a really a problem. But anyway, it's correct. I just forgot that I created a new object for each time a menu is open and a sub menu too. So let me check again my original file. How many files? Skin 4. Because if I recall, I have a layer texture that goes behind the layer. And as you move the mouse, that layer should move along. So let me see if I find it here. Layer overlays is the lettering. It goes on top. My backgrounds, the big squares, small squares, lines, divisions, labels, top list, square text, sequential lines. Now I have separate background in here. Okay, clear background. Pink is this guy. Yeah, it has some texture on it. But, um, well, it's rather large. Here, background copy. Hmm. So The extra layering goes on top. Okay. Because what I already have. By the way, this red version is just a scripted color change from the blue version. So I can create blue, green, and also variations of brightness and things like that without changing the metallic look and things like that. So it's actually really neat. So okay, the background is these guys, and then you have the layer background. That's the one I want. Copy this over. That one. To select the layer here. Select. So it has some bevel. And the idea is that it shows in this area here. Okay. So let me take a look. But it's going everywhere. That's not what I wanted. I have to actually measure where it's going to be. Let me close and open the file because it's easier. So the idea that this background is going to show from here to almost touching the screw bar. I have to measure that. It's kind of a pain to measure, but I can do it. So let me see, what is the size of that? Beautiful. Uh, okay, not a big deal. Okay, this is size 3840. Can be right. Oh, it's going to crash, of course. Oh, not easy sometimes. Let me open again. Put a lot of zoom. I'm going to try to measure this correctly. I'm going to measure it from the. Maybe I don't have to touch correctly on the left because it's not going to show. It's going to be under the bevel that goes on top. Oh, that's so slow. Uh, so slow. But I'll wait. I can wait. Okay, it goes up to here. Say here. My head move it. So 3703. 3703. That's somewhere. 3703. Okay. Now, what I need is the background. This guy here, if I recall, is this one. This one. And then I can just change the canvas size to 703 and remove the bevels because I don't need the bevels in here. Can remove it even a bit more. Okay. This is the background that goes on the layer. Now I can save this part. Transparent. And background. Let's see if I already have a file name layer background. Oh, it's in here. Or let me check what that file looks like. Sources. Background. Ah, it's very different. Okay, I see. I already created this some time ago. And it's the whole width of the original file. I can use that too. I added a pink line so I know where to cut the imaging tree and stretch this middle area. Hmm, maybe I can use that instead. Totally forgot I had that. So many things to worry about. But I can see that there is no layer background in the cached files. It's empty, all black. So let me see if it's doing the file correctly. I have my back layer. Back 2. Is number 1. Now I have to check skin files. Alt. Oh, I'm not creating the layer background. It's missing in here. Background. Just in case. No. Let's put in here. Name of the file is layer background. Layer. And let me recompile. This compilation of the files, the user is not going to have to do. This is going to be supplied ready by me. So this processing skin is just done when you want to change colors and stuff like that and mess with the files. Otherwise, you just select a skin. I'm going to make several types of skins like different colors and stuff and brightness. And you will have all the cached files already done, so you don't have to do this. Check now. Skins, default, cached. Okay, now it's doing correctly. I have my background layer and see that it has a small texture to it. So it should be interesting to see how this one works. So okay, now the next step, I should have this file loaded now. It's going to load as it loads the interface. One trick I did to load the interface faster because it has to load all the files. I create 4 threads, and each thread is loading a different set of files. And on a mutual core computer, each thread is going to be on a different core. And here on my computer, from several seconds, like I think it was 20 seconds to open all the images into the memory, it went 4 seconds. So it really speed things up. I don't know where's the code, but it should be around here. It's, should be there. This file. Process skin starts thread 6. Oh, here, load thread. So I start 4 threads, and it's the load skin thread. It will be something very simple. Oh, yes. As a start, an end is the total images, and a next. So when I start it, I just select which is going to be the start image and which is going to be the block image. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and adds 4 until the end of the total image. So very handy. And it waits until all the 4 threads to complete before continuing. Loads much faster because you're not just loading from disk, you are loading and uncompressing to memory. And since those are PNG files, it has a lot of compression to be done, extraction in this case, into raw data file, because internally in memory you're always dealing with raw image, not a PNG file anymore. The PNG is just for saving and loading. Everything else is raw or bitmap. So okay, now the next step is to get that file ready and start creating. I have to think now how I'm going to work this out. Usually, I could create a view container, but I don't need a view container to be like generic because I'm just going to use for this. So I can create a component that's going to do just that. So what I'm going to do? Let me think here. Can add. I have my cache to the calls here. The calls are sprites or bitmap files that goes into the memory of the GPU card. So I should have already the back layer is there already. So now what I need a position of the layer screw. Y. Screw position. Then I need a position size. For now, I'm going to just worry about the position and the size. Going to be for this scrolling effect. And I have also need to know here the two positions of the middle of the layer background image. So here, ground, middle, size. It should be not these because if I'm going to use the pink strip, what's the pink strip use again? Pointer. Point integer. Background, middle size, and since I'm going to use the generic function, I have to pass 3 pointers because it's going to find 3 pointers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I have to double check that, but it's not hard. It's just I have to check. Layer background positions. So this is going to happen at the start after it loads up. There's somewhere user interface. Just after I created the calls. And it doesn't have all the other guys. Oh, it's false by default. So okay. I just needed the cache the call. Going to be layer back layer sprite. And I think it should be okay. So let's take a look again at the file. You see, can be a lot of work to do that, all that, but it's okay. It's normal. So it should give me a file of 0, and then next is going to be 120. Let's see if that's correct. Y. Will be 0 around 120, then 120, 1900, 2063, something like that. Let's see what's going to spit out. Either it didn't like my show values or it's crashing a year, but it should be. Check. Because sometimes my show value crashes the OpenGL code. Oh, something else is happening. Maybe it's not loading the layer background. I'm going to check for the size of the layer background before. Mesh sprite. Sprite. Let's see what's this. If it has been loaded. But it would crash in here anyway, so I don't know. And that's correct. Okay, I'm going to take a break and later do another video. So just search for the second video on today. And that's it. Thanks for watching.